Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be trapped inside a city, surrounded by an enemy army, with supplies dwindling and hope fading? Sieges are one of the most brutal and desperate forms of warfare, and throughout history, some have been so epic they've changed the course of civilization itself. Today, we're re-diving into one such event, the Siege of Constantinople in 1453. This wasn't just another battle. It was the final, dramatic act in the thousand-year story of the Byzantine Empire and the dawn of a new era of warfare. So, picture this. It's the mid-15th century. The once mighty Byzantine Empire, the heir to ancient Rome, has shrunk to little more than the city of Constantinople and a few scattered territories. But what a city it was! Constantinople was a fortress, protected by the sea on three sides and a legendary set of walls on the fourth, the Theodosian Walls. For centuries, these walls had repelled countless invaders. They were a masterpiece of defensive engineering, a triple line of fortifications that many believed to be impenetrable. Inside the walls was Emperor Constantine XI, leading a small, determined force of about 7,000 soldiers, a mix of Byzantines and foreign volunteers, mostly from Genoa and Venice. They were facing a truly daunting opponent. Outside the city was the young, ambitious Sultan Mehmed II of the Ottoman Empire. He was just 21 years old, but he was brilliant, ruthless, and obsessed with one goal, conquering Constantinople. And he brought an army that massively outnumbered the defenders, with estimates ranging from 80,000 to over 100,000 troops. But Mehmed didn't just rely on numbers. He brought the future of warfare with him. At the heart of his army was a new and terrifying weapon, cannons. And not just any cannons. He had commissioned a Hungarian engineer named Orban to build some of the largest cannons the world had ever seen. The most famous of these was the Great Turkish Bombard, a monstrous piece of artillery nearly 27 feet long that could hurl 1,200-pound stone balls over a mile. Imagine the psychological terror. Every day, the city was shaken by the thunderous roar of these superguns as they relentlessly pounded the seemingly unbreakable walls. The defenders would work frantically through the night to repair the damage, but it was a losing battle against this new technology. The siege began in early April 1453. 4 weeks, the city held on, a testament to the strength of its walls and the bravery of its defenders. The Byzantines weren't just passive victims. They had their own secret weapon, Greek fire. This ancient incendiary substance, a closely guarded state secret, could burn on water and was devastating against wooden ships. The Ottoman navy tried to force its way into the Golden Horn, the city's natural harbour, but was repelled by the Byzantine fleet and a massive chain stretched across the water's entrance. This is where Mehmed's genius truly shone. If he couldn't sail his ships into the Golden Horn, he would take them overland. In one of the most audacious moves in military history, Mehmed ordered his men to build a greased wooden road over the hill of Galata. In a single night, his army hauled dozens of ships, sails unfurled, overland and into the Golden Horn, completely bypassing the chain and the Byzantine fleet. The defenders woke up to the sight of an enemy fleet now inside their harbour. The psychological blow was immense. The city was now completely surrounded, its last lifeline cut. Even so, the city refused to surrender. For 53 days, they fought with incredible courage. The final assault came on May 29th. Under the cover of darkness, Mehmed launched a massive, 3-wave attack. The first wave, made up of irregular troops, was meant to exhaust the defenders. But the defenders held the line. Finally, Mehmed unleashed his elite troops, the Janissaries. These were the best soldiers in the Ottoman army, and they stormed the walls with ferocious determination. In the heat of the battle, a small gate, the Kirkaporta, was accidentally left unlocked. A group of Ottoman soldiers snuck through, climbed the walls, and raised the Ottoman flag. At the same time, the Genoese commander, Giovanni Giustiniani, who had been the heart of the defense, was mortally wounded by a cannonball. His evacuation caused panic and confusion among the defenders. The lines broke. The Janissaries poured through the breaches in the walls, and the city's fate was sealed. Emperor Constantine XI, seeing that all was lost, reportedly cast off his imperial insignia and charged into the fray, fighting and dying alongside his soldiers. His body was never definitively identified. The fall of Constantinople was a seismic event. It marked the end of the Roman Empire, which had lasted in one form or another for nearly 1,500 years. It was a massive victory for the Ottoman Empire, establishing it as the dominant power in the region and making Constantinople, renamed Istanbul, its new capital. But the siege's impact went far beyond politics. It was a turning point in military history. The ancient power of defensive walls had been broken by the new power of gunpowder artillery. Castles and fortified cities, which had dominated medieval warfare, were suddenly obsolete. This forced a revolution in military architecture and strategy, leading to new types of fortifications designed to withstand cannon fire. The age of knights and castles was over. The age of cannons and gunpowder had begun. The fall of the city also had huge cultural and economic consequences. It disrupted the old trade routes between Europe and Asia, which spurred European explorers like Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama to seek new sea routes, ultimately leading to the Age of Discovery and the colonization of the Americas. Many Greek scholars and intellectuals fled Constantinople, bringing with them ancient manuscripts and knowledge that helped fuel the Renaissance in Western Europe. So, the siege of Constantinople wasn't just the end of a city, it was the end of an era and the violent birth of a new one. It demonstrated in the most dramatic way possible that innovation and technology could shatter centuries of tradition, forever changing the face of warfare and the course of world history. It's a powerful reminder that the walls we build, whether physical or metaphorical, can always be overcome by a determined mind with a new idea. What do you think is the most significant legacy of this siege? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this journey back in time as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and make sure you resubscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss our next deep dive into history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.